Is the Motorola Moto G8 Plus worth buying in late 2020? Well, in this video, we're gonna find out. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, and this is the Moto G8 Plus. Now to see the most up-to-date pricing for this phone, as I'm sure prices do go down as time goes on, take a look at the link in the video description. But the Moto G8 Plus was launched in October of 2019, so at this point the phone is roughly 1 year old, and I've personally owned this device since February of 2020. Now with the phone, we're getting a 6.3-inch display, so it is pretty large. It is an IPS LCD display at 1080p. We're getting a PPI of 400, a 19:9 aspect ratio, and an 82.5% screen to body ratio. So the display on this phone is nice and bright, crisp and clear, and has pretty good viewing angles as well. So if you're looking for a device to use for content consumption, whether it's watching videos, going on social media, or just browsing the web, I do feel like this phone will get the job done. Now up top here, we do have a water drop notch, and in that notch is a 25 megapixel front-facing camera. Now with this phone, we are getting 64 gigabytes of internal storage and micro SD card expansion, so quite a bit of internal storage. Now there's no wireless charging with the Moto G8 Plus, but we do have a fingerprint sensor on the back. Let's give that a try right now. And that's a very fast fingerprint sensor. In addition to having the fingerprint sensor, the phone also features face unlock. So you do have multiple options to access your device. Now with this phone, we do get a triple camera setup. So there's a 48 megapixel main camera, a 16 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, and a 5 megapixel depth sensing camera. Now here's how things look through the camera app on the phone. So this is with the main camera right here. We can also easily switch over to portrait mode to get those nice blurred out backgrounds. You can do that as well with the front facing camera too. So things are very clear here. Now one of the interesting features with the Moto G8 Plus is the action cam mode. Now the action cam uses the ultra wide angle camera to give you the ability to take videos in landscape while still holding the phone vertically. This is a very unique feature that I've really only seen with some Motorola phones. The only downside with this is that the Moto G8 Plus does not offer the ability to take ultra wide angle photos with the ultra wide angle camera. So with that camera, you can only take videos. Now if you do want to take videos using the main camera, you do have that option as well. So you can take standard videos if you want to do that as well. Now with the Moto G8 Plus, we're getting 4 gigabytes of RAM and the Qualcomm Snapdragon 665 processor. Now from my experience of using the phone, having that amount of RAM paired up with that processor will give you very decent performance. And this phone does run really well, whether it's going around the operating system, browsing the web, going on social media, all of those different tasks will run smoothly here on the device. Now I did run a Geekbench 5 benchmark test here with the phone, and these are the results that I got from that test. So what I recommend doing is installing Geekbench 5 on your current phone, running this test, and then comparing these scores to your scores to see if this phone would even be a performance upgrade. Now with the Moto G8 Plus, video recording maxes out at 4K with the rear camera and 1080p with the front camera. So it is very impressive to be able to get 4K video recording with this phone. Now with the device, we're getting a pretty large 4000 milliamp hour internal battery, and with the device, we're getting 15 watt fast charging. And as far as the software goes, when this phone was first launched, it came with Android 9 Pie. But at the time of me making this video, the phone has since gotten the Android 10 update. So it is really nice to see that Motorola is continuing to update their devices. But now that we've gone over the specification highlights here with the phone, let's take a closer look at the hardware. Now I already went over a lot about the front panel here, but essentially we are getting a water drop notch for the front facing camera and a little bit of a thicker bottom bezel. But in general, at this point, I feel like the phone still looks very nice. Now taking a look at the left side of the phone, we just have the slot for the micro SD card and SIM card. By the way, this phone is completely built out of plastic, minus the display, which is glass, but the phone does feel very solid and high quality. Now taking a look at the right side of the phone, we have the volume up, volume down, and the power button. Then, on the top of the phone, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack and the noise-canceling microphone. Then, on the bottom of the device, we have the microphone, USB-C port for charging and data transfer, and we have the speaker. And then on the rear of the phone, we have the camera module, and we have the fingerprint sensor. Now the back of this phone does feature a reflective material, and it definitely does pick up quite a few fingerprints. However, I do like this gradient look. As mentioned earlier, this phone does work really well for content consumption, so browsing the web is very smooth. You can then go to different articles and really do whatever you would typically do on your smartphone. I mean, things are not going to run quite as fast as a flagship, of course, but for a mid-ranger like this one, things run smoothly. And we're getting a 16 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, whereas with the Note 20 Ultra, we're getting a 108 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra. The video viewing experience with this phone is surprisingly very impressive for multiple reasons. The first reason is because the videos themselves do look really good on this 1080p panel. But the second really nice thing about watching videos here with the phone is that the speakers on here are incredibly good. We're actually getting a stereo speaker setup, so audio comes out of the speaker on the bottom, but it also comes out of the earpiece. So not only are you getting a very immersive audio listening experience, but also the phone just gets really loud in general. So if you're one of those people, for example, that likes to just play music off your phone very loudly, then you're definitely going to be able to do it here very well with the Moto G8 Plus. So in conclusion, is the Moto G8 Plus worth getting at this point in late 2020? And I do still feel like it is a very good option. It's really nice that the phone did get updated to Android 10. I really appreciate that. The photo and video quality from this phone is very nice as well. You're getting very decent performance here with the Snapdragon 665, and the phone has aged very well. It doesn't feel outdated or anything like that. The biggest competitor that I could think of for Motorola for this phone would be the Moto G Fast. That phone is about the same price. However, with that device, you're getting half the amount of internal storage, and you're getting 1 less gigabyte of RAM. So again, the Moto G8 Plus continues to stand out as a very competitive option, even 1 year after it was launched. But I'm definitely very curious to know what you think about the Moto G8 Plus. Do you think it's worth getting in late 2020? Or do you think it's time to move on? But this is the Motorola Moto G8 Plus. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.